welcome back for another episode of Hoeology Podcast. This is your host, Destiny. Y'all, I just had the most amazing experience at Sex Down South. Now, my listeners, you're probably like, what the hell is a Sex Down South? Did this bitch go to an orgy? Is everything okay? Everything is splendid. Let me tell you all about this conference. I had actually found out about Sex Down South last year, and I'm going to be honest, I was way too chicken to go just because I didn't know exactly what I would be walking into. I'm still kind of new as a brand, especially as a podcast, so I was like, I don't know if I'll fit in, I don't really know, but this year, my hubby was like, you need to go and you need to get out there and put yourself out there. And I was like, you know what, you right. So I was like, I'm going to go the extra mile. So I actually submitted to be a part of their media crew. So I got to shoot some really great content. And obviously part of that content is telling you guys all about my experience. So hopefully you can go next year and we can have a good ass time. Okay, first things first, what is Sex Down South? Sex Down South is an Atlanta-based sex and sexuality conference featuring 3 days of nonstop educational workshops, demonstrations, lectures by industry experts, vendors, parties, and more. That's directly from their banner that I got to see in person. But still, even before I went, I was like, okay, but what does that mean? So I'm going to break it down for y'all based on the things I saw, the things I got to experience, and just how much I was inspired after leaving this conference. Like, by the end of this episode, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all know I'm a whole new woman. So first of all was the educational workshops. I learned so much at this conference. Like, going in, I was like, is this just gonna be like a big sex party? I was wrong as fuck. I mean, there was some, some freak nasty shit going on, but it was also very educational. One of my favorite workshops that I got to attend was kind of an actual physician, like a Black doctor, talking about breaking the stigma for HSV and HPV awareness. Like, he came with the statistics, he came with like the treatment options, he answered like hella questions from people in the audience, and he let us know, that so many people in the world, like, I know in America we like to think that we're the main character, but so many people in the world have these two viruses, and it is okay. Like, there are treatment options, there are vaccines out there. Like, it's okay to have these viruses and still live a very normal life. And to me, I think that is so important, not only, for Black people, because we do be fighting them stereotypes and kind of feeding into those like negative narratives sometimes, but to have it come from a Black physician, and oftentimes physicians and doctors are not as accessible when it comes to needing this information on like a personal kind of level. So for him to be there, be speaking, be, dropping the facts, and be so just down to earth about it, I think was game changing and very necessary. I do want to add, this conference was not geared specifically toward Black and people of color, but the majority of people there were Black or people of color, which I felt very safe in that way. I probably would have been a little more taken aback had it been more white centric or white focused, but this really was inclusive of everyone. But back to another educational side. So I've personally been struggling in my career with wanting to be more, wanting to do more of what I love, and really trying to decide and figure out, okay, well, what is that? And honestly, y'all, I love Hoeology. Like, this is my baby. I have really started this podcast. I paused it because I wasn't sure. I didn't have enough self-confidence, to be honest. I then brought it back, and then it kind of took off, and now we're here. Side note, your girl got recognized. Like, the first day that I came, this guy walked by my husband and I, and he was like, oh shit, that's Hoeology. And I was like, me, you know me? So I was like, you know what? Like, I really want to figure out how to grow this and be something and be someone else that I can inspire and, maybe do my own educational workshops one day. And I found that at Sex Down South. Let me tell you how. As I was making my rounds, getting to know everyone, saying hello, I met someone named Mystique, and she had a table that was called Black Women Prep 2. And I kind of asked her, how did you get into this? And, what were the steps that you took to be able to be here today? And she let me know that she was actually working with this company and essentially was becoming a sex educator. And I have obviously heard of sex educators, but I thought, and I had this conversation with her, and I was like, "Oh, did you have to like have a degree in psychology? Do you have to have a degree in like healthcare or what?" Like I was very ignorant to the situation, and she was like, "Girl, no." She was like, I literally took some courses through this certifying body pretty much, which is ASECT, which I had heard of them, but I really didn't know. She was like, "Oh yeah, talk to them at that table right there. They can get you right." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I go down to the ASECT table. Child, they like, "Oh yeah, we offer these classes, each one is a credit and you need this many credits to become a certified sex educator, and some of the workshops that you're going to take at Sex Down South count toward these credits that you need. All you have to do is get them to sign this paper." I'm like, I'm not saying like, oh, it's that easy, but I'm just like, it's that accessible. And I think that that's like why I was so shook and why I was so grateful at the same time, because I'm like, bro, this whole time I'm thinking like, I can never make it happen. Like, you really don't know until you try. And I feel like Sex Down South did an amazing job of connecting people that literally just didn't know. Like, you can read something on Google, but hearing it from someone that looks like you, hearing it from someone that has a similar background as far as like your work history is concerned, a couple of them that I talked to there were like, "Yeah, we started off in this industry and then we were not happy and this is what we wanted to do, so we made it happen." And I'm like, that's literally my total existence right now is not knowing where I belong, not knowing, where to go next, but knowing that this is what I want to do. And now I know that it's accessible. So shout out to the ASEC team that was there. Shout out to Mystique that really put me on game. I'm really grateful and very inspired by you all. So thank you for that. And I'm just grateful. On top of the educational workshops, there was also some fun workshops where we kind of just like was just shooting shit and really seeing like hands on. There was a tantric slash sensual yoga class that we did like first thing in the morning, and it really got us to like connect on like a spiritual level. Like, I ain't talking like God and Jesus, but I am talking like literally feeling like the heat between us, looking into each other's eyes, like giving each other affirmations. Like, it was very different for me, but I think overall it was really nice. We also took we took part of it, but we took like a blowjob class, and it was kind of talking about how there's two sides of giving a blowjob. I call them blowies, so we're gonna call them blowies going forward. But two sides of giving a blowy. So for one, it's the person receiving, and obviously the other side is the person giving. Now, a lot of times with these blowies, nobody is considering, what the other person is feeling. And honestly, it's like so many thoughts that can be going through each other's head. Like, oh, is my size too much for this person? I might have received trauma receiving oral before and I'm scared to receive it now. Like, so many just different thoughts that can go into it. And while I was sitting there and the teacher, I cannot think of their name. I think it was Andre Shotke. While they were doing the class, I was just like, bro, I never really considered this either. Like, I'm just sitting here like a sponge, just soaking it all up. But I thought it was really good to highlight that entire thing of just really considering what your partner's experiences in that moment and what they kind of are coming in with, and having a real conversation before you even engage in anything sexually. Um, Andre did an amazing job of kind of doing that conversation, like a mock up of that. saying, what are some things that you're okay with? What are you not okay with? Which obviously I've had those conversations before. But some of the questions went a little bit deeper, like what is something like red light green I can try, or something that's completely off limits, don't even ask. And I thought it was just great to highlight that. Of course, continuing with the fun, on Saturday I got to attend the Ivy's Garden bottomless brunch. Now, I've been following Miss Ivy's Garden or Ivy Girls Only on Instagram for quite some time. I even had them featured in my Ho highlight. And I just have to say, like, she is gorgeous in person. Like, her energy is just everything. The way that she was able to bring all of these beautiful bodies together in a safe space, like just allowing us in every form to just be authentically ourselves, laugh together, smile together. We did this really cool icebreaker where we got to write out, like, we passed an index card around a table, and each person to your right wrote something that they liked about the person to the left. So I wrote, something about person A. Person A wrote something about me. And the cards went all around the table. So by the end of it, you had like a whole index card of like 12 things that someone liked about you or thought that was beautiful on you. And it was just really refreshing to just feel that like warmth. I think a lot of times, not to get preachy, but social media really does skew our views of the world around us, and it can be very it can be very just disheartening sometimes to see the mean energy that can go on around you. So to be in this space with these people and the event being curated by someone who genuinely just wants people to feel safe, I think was one of my favorite things that I attended. Obviously, we had mimosas, there was music. She was doing like giveaways and prizes. It was just legit. My favorite part of the brunch was a poem about the experience of an orgasm. I'm going to insert the clip and let y'all hear what I heard. This is just a snippet, but if anybody knows this artist, because she also writes erotica, please let me know so that I can give her flowers. But take a listen.
Reverberating through my tendons, rattling my bones, and it doesn't stop there. This orgasmic energy transfers from ligament to ligament, awakening every cell within my vibration until they burst, creating a new, expansive universe inside of me, edifying my humanity, evolving my divinity. This is the sight of God. This is orgasm.
Woo! As you can see, the crowd went wild after that, but I don't think y'all heard her. She said, awakening every cell in my vibration until they burst, creating a new universe inside of me. This is the sight of God. This is orgasm. Baby, when I heard that, that's why the clip ends right there, because I was like, let me stand up and clap for this, because y'all know how when you put that wand right on there, yep, that's what she's talking about. And I ain't never related to something more in my existence. Okay. Whew, that was literally my favorite part of the whole brunch was her poem. So, in addition to getting to meet Krista, who is the founder of Ivy's Garden, I got to meet a couple other like industry celebs, I'm gonna call them. I met Tyomi Morgan, who I just had on my Ho's Life episode. I got to meet Boob Shinari. She's on Instagram. She does sexual coaching, and I think she's also like a sexologist, a certified sexologist. She was really nice. I got to meet King Noir, like the King Noir of Royal Fetish Films. I also had, like I mentioned earlier, people that knew of me, which was mind-boggling. A couple people asked me why I didn't have like a vendor's table, and I was like, truly, I did not feel like like I belonged here. Like I just felt like I'm a watcher. But after attending the conference and seeing other like-minded people, baby, next year Hoeology will have a table. I am claiming that. I am manifesting. Okay, I might even do a workshop. Like literally by the end of the conference, I was like, okay, I want to become a sex educator. What classes do I need to do or take? Who do I need to do to, no, I'm just kidding. But where, like, what do I need to do to make this happen? Because I've never felt so safe. I've never felt so like I found my people. And it says a lot because I really was struggling with self doubt going into this conference. Like, my so sweet husband bought me one of those like microphones that clips on to things so you can kind of like, you know, do the interviews that you see on like TikTok. And my goal was to ask people, you know, what makes you like love your body or what makes you like a sexy hoe? Because the theme of the conference was body love and the body loving was all around. But there was also a lot of brain love, which I think was cool. Like the sharing of information, sharing of just tips, tricks, etc. And I had so much anxiety that I literally couldn't even use it because I was like, I am just too chicken to even ask anybody anything. And that was not the vibe of the conference. Like, people were genuinely just like, oh, hey, I like your shirt. Oh, hey, what are you selling? Like, it was very just open. And so I think next year, now that I know what to expect, I will walk into there with just ungodly amount of confidence and just be ready to kill it. And speaking of killing it, the vendors, y'all, they had so much, like from books to earrings, like to flogger things. Of course, vibrators, dildos, outfits, bookmarks, stickers, shirts, panties, boudoir photo shoot things that you could purchase, like candles, classes. Like there was so many vendors, but not to the point where it was like they were overlapping each other. Like everyone had their own niche, and I think it was just dope because you literally could walk over here and find, you know, candles that are a silhouette of a woman's breasts. And then you can walk over, you know, down the other side and get a sticker of a strawberry shaped like a vagina. And you can walk to the other side and get a flogger. And then you can walk down and, you know, get some resources or workshops with, you know, preventing sexually transmitted infections. Like there was literally so much. I mean, I even talked to this lady that she was really nice. Her name's Tracy. I talked to her about sex toys and like influencer marketing for like what felt like 45 minutes to an hour. Like we just had such a genuine conversation, but the vendors there didn't feel like they were trying to sell to you. They were trying to make, you know, you decide what you needed and what you could get out of them. And I think that was just amazing because you can go to some conferences and people are very pushy and they're like, hey, you want to buy this? Hey, and it's just like, no, dude, like, let me see what you got first. Tell me why it means something to you. And maybe we'll connect there. And then maybe we'll, you know, exchange some currency of some sorts. So I think Sex on South did a really great job of picking their vendors and making sure that it was people that really had something special within their brand. So in addition to that, though, there was some really cool like demonstrations that were going on. There was one that I just happened to stumble upon, and it was, I have a video of this. It was King Noir flogging lightly Tyomi Morgan. And I was just like, this is like the sexiest thing I have all seen all day while I was standing there. I was like, this is just amazing. Like Tyomi's huge smile across her face, King Noir asking for consent. I was like, this is perfect. This is everything. I'm good. I don't need to do anything else for the rest of the day. I'm good. I'll stay here. So I think it was really cool. I unfortunately did not get to attend any of the parties. I did get to see the playroom though. It was called the Labyrinth Dungeon. It was really dope. They had a flogging station. They had some really cool lighting going on. They had lots of like cleanup supplies, even like the chuck pads, which I was like, y'all are on it. Okay. They were definitely respectful of the property that we were all in. It was great, y'all. We really had an amazing time. If you're listening to this episode and you're like, Destiny, like, where can I need to go. I need to see more. Like, I love the episode, but I need to see it with my own eyes. I got you, boo. Head on over to my TikTok, Hoeology Podcast, and you can see for yourself. If you don't have TikTok or you're like, fuck that clock app, go on Instagram. I also have a video there where I'm showing literally things that I saw with my own eyes, some of the great media that I got to capture at the conference. With that being said, if you listened to my Sensual Summer Tour episode, I went through a list of sex inclusive resorts all around the world, beaches all around the world. And one of them was Hedonism 2, which is in Jamaica. And the reason I bring up Hedonism 2 is because Sex Down South will be doing a pop up called Sex in Paradise in Negril, Jamaica at Hedonism 2 from June 1st to June 6th of 2024. Similar kind of, setup where they'll have the parties, they'll have workshops, a group excursion, and of course they will be playing. If you're interested in that, it's going to be sexinparadise2024.com. Before I end the episode, I really just want to say thank you to Sex Down South for creating this space and allowing people to connect and being that focal point of connection. Side note, if y'all are ever hiring, give your girl a call. Fuck corporate life. I'm down to ride. No, but I'm very serious. Thank you to Marla and Tia for putting on this event, all of the vendors, all of the demonstrators, educators, coaches, therapists, everybody, like community resources, everyone that came out and just killed it. Like, as a newbie, like, I was, again, very scared walking in, but immediately my guards were put down by just the welcoming people that were there. The volunteers you had were so sweet, so kind. Like, I love that they were interacting at the workshops just like us, because it was just a great feeling, and I really cannot wait for next year. I will not, unfortunately, be able to attend Sex in Paradise, but listen, I'll be at every other pop-up. I also went to Sex on the Beach in Miami at the World Erotic Art Museum, so I will continue to keep supporting Sex Down South and all of their ventures as much as I can, as long as you will let me. So with that being said, I'm going to shout out a few of my faves that I met at the conference, and hopefully you guys can check them out and give them some love. First up is Miss Brianna Lewis of Pretty Sexucated. She is a pleasure priority enthusiast. She does coaching, she has workshops, and I actually got to see her at Sex on the Beach in Miami. She was also at Sex Down South. Love supporting her. Anything she does, I'm a ride behind. So check her out. Next up is Miss Krista from Ivy's Garden, and their Instagram is Ivy Girls Only. Ivy's Garden is an elite community that celebrates the pleasure of curious women of color while praising their feminine sexuality. Of course, we have Velvet Lips. Actually, this is Marla's company, and it is a sex-positive sexuality educational company offering workshops and intensive coaching. And finally, Mystique Publications. She is the one that actually put me on to the whole sex education and sex educator pathway. Huge thank you to her. You have quite literally changed my life. But her campaign, Black Women Prep 2, is a virtual campaign that seeks to encourage, educate, and embolden women of color to take initiative in their sexual health journey by changing the stigma around HIV, STDs and STIs, and sexual reproductive health. So check her out. It's Black Women Prep 2. All right, hoes. Like I said, check out my Instagram and TikTok for like actual footage of the conference. If you want to see even more footage of the conference that I didn't get to take, go to SDS Con on Instagram. They have so many amazing videos. They have so many amazing just stories, educators, coaches, etc. Just great people from the conference, and you'll get to see there. And actually, that's how you can get information to sign up for next year. So I think they actually have a sale going on right now for like discounted tickets for next year. Definitely hop on that vibe. As always, happy hoeing.